We're back. We're back. All right. Again, yes, we are back. All right. Yes, 2 shows in one day, working overtime. Okay. Now, anyways, we're back. We were talking about everybody. Tell your friends. Prince of the East Side, my man. Everybody, tell your friends. Get back in here. Okay. Arizona against Oregon. Dana Altman is a good conference coach. Obviously, he's a very good conference coach and a tournament coach. So he's going to throw a lot of different stuff. So we're going to go position by position here, and we're going to start at that point guard spot. Going into this season, I think that Jackson Shellstad, I thought he was going to be a little bit better than he's been this season, but he's still, he's playing better of late. 11 points per game. I thought he would be a little bit better than that, but we're kind of at the stage now where he and Jaden Bradley are pretty much equals. I think that they've got to be able to step up, and I think it's going to be a big game for Jaden.
Yeah, Jackson Shellstad's really good, and he makes that whole thing go on offense. If he struggles, it becomes much, much harder for Oregon to win. Very quick getting the jump shot. Arizona is going to stress closeouts because he has a very quick release, and if you don't close out, he will shoot very quickly. He doesn't like it when you're physical with him, so expect Arizona to try to be physical with him as well. But I think he's, Biddle's good, obviously, but I think in terms of pure offensive player, Shellstad's the best out of that starting five.
Yeah, I don't think Biddle's enough offensively if he has a good game. So you definitely need him. You definitely need TJ Bamba to step up. But I like Bradley in this matchup. I think Bradley, to Shear's point, is just the more physical player. I think Bradley's going to be able to get to the rim. Not as easy, obviously, as we saw against Akron, but I think Bradley can space you out and hit shots in a number of different ways. Whereas Shellstad, is a little bit more limited. So. Again, you got to keep an eye on that matchup, but it's not a matchup that scares me, I guess.
It doesn't scare me, but it's one that Arizona's got to win. In the games that Arizona's lost this year, especially against good teams, it's generally ones where, Jaden, for like an example, Jaden has not necessarily looked, Jaden was fine against Houston, but Milos kind of killed him. That's something that, you got to look at, you got to think about. Also have any parents in the post game show? Luis Ordonez, that was funny. Okay. Now at that shooting guard position, let's talk. That's going to be an interesting one. You got TJ Bamba, who's been at, Rutgers, Oregon, and Washington State. Bamba is good. This is a matchup, though, when you get and I'm going to keep saying this, when you play against good teams, you got to be able, or your best players have to play well. And this is a game, guys, that Caleb Love has to play well, period. Okay. All right. Or do you want to take that or no?
Oh, sorry. No, my computer froze for a second. I think with Bamba, he's not a shooter, right? Like if he's shooting threes, you've won. He's a really good defender. ADO, this isn't an ADO game. It's real simple. ADO cannot guard Bamba. Bamba can very easily guard ADO. They're gonna have Bartholomew on Caleb Love, I assume, and vice versa.
See, I don't think that's gonna work. I think he's too big for Bartholomew.
So you think Bamba on Love?
I think eventually it's going to be Bamba on Love. I mean,
the thing Bartholomew on ADO, but the problem is when they put in KJ, who does Bartholomew guard? KJ's way too big for Bartholomew.
Then you just play him like 20 feet off. I was talking with somebody who actually messaged me this morning, and he told me that would probably be the matchup eventually. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, and that's like the guards. Arizona's guards are bigger and stronger than Oregon's. I mean, that is very apparent. Like I love Bamba, but Bamba's their 3. Caleb Love is stronger than Bartholomew. Jaden Bradley is stronger than Shellstad. So that's something that I think they have to take advantage of.
Yeah, I would agree. Ben, what do you think? Ben's like, who are these guys?
Well, I haven't watched a ton of them this year. But yeah, I mean, look,
that's why we're here.
That's why Shear is here. And it looks like Shear's working through some difficulties with his StreamYard. But no, I think that's spot on. I go back to somebody like KJ Lewis, somebody like Henry Vasar. Like I know Biddle is probably going to get his, but you've got to find a way to at least slow him down. And then those guards cannot beat you. If Biddle's going off and Bomba's beating you and Shellstad's beating you, that's when you're running into trouble. You just can't have all three of those things happen.
All right, now Andre Veras, great Andre Veras says, sure, you just said this isn't an ADO game, safe to say. Against good teams, it's going to be It's going to be difficult for.
Akron was fine. I know ADO had a little sequence where he wasn't good, but he was fine against Akron. I would have liked to see him get less minutes and figure out how to get Carter more, but no, Oregon's a tough. But then again, I think about it like he could guard. He can't. I mean, like Bomba's very aggressive and physical, so that matchup bothers me, right? But he could probably guard Mike. Do you think he could guard Tracy?
Yeah, I could guard Adrian Tracy.
Yeah, he could probably be fine against Tracy.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm not totally opposed to that, but again, this is also a game I can't have. I'm going to be very clear about this here. And again, it's Tommy Lloyd and I'm Mike Luke. But at the end of the day, I can't have charity minutes in these games. It's win or go home. I can't ever have a situation again where ADO plays more minutes and a half than Carter Bryant. I just can't. That to me, I get it that there's something where Tommy feels that he has to hold Carter to a higher standard than the other players. I don't know exactly what that means. I don't care if it means that he has to, that he's not in at the power forward or whatever. Carter Bryant cannot play less minutes in a half than ADO, period. He just can't, Sheer.
I agree. I don't know why he did it last night. I really don't.
Is he hiding him, Sheer?
It feels that way, right?
At this point, it is what it is.
I don't want you to play too well,
Yep.
It was weird last night. Maybe the only thing I could think of is Carter's very clearly a confident kid that came in and played well, and Tommy knew they were going to win. So maybe say, look, we need ADO to play well because against Oregon, maybe, confidence thing. I don't know. I really don't.
Yeah, it's just an odd thing. And I want to talk about Carter for a minute. First of all, I want to take you guys to task a little bit here, Sheer. Not necessarily you, because I think you guys would had him higher. There was not 25 better prospects in high school basketball last year than Carter Bryant. And your whole thing is based off NBA potential. If it's based off,
I wanted him higher. I actually spoke out about it. So
yeah, I mean, Carter is more top. Carter is more of a top. That's more of what a top 15 player looks like.
Yeah, I agree. I fought for him a little bit on that one.
Hey, Mike, you want to talk a little bit about the Rudy Gay comparison that our buddy put out there?
I love that. Yeah, Aaron Torres. I love that. I put that out there on the board, and I didn't give him any credit for it. I love the Rudy Gay comparison. Rudy Gay, when he was at UConn, was essentially shooting perimeter shots. Now, I think he's a little girthier at the same point.
Yeah, they're built different.
Yeah, but a little bit of a better athlete. But at the same time, and yes, Nick, I don't know, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Wink, wink. Don't say anything. But at the same time, though, he's a menace defensively at times. Now, listen, I know that he's a hacker. The whole team is a bunch of hackers, so there is that. But at the same time, his shot blocking, he's the only guy on the team that can weak side shot block like that. His 3-point shooting is immaculate. I don't know. Like I said, I don't. Tommy's been reticent to play him a lot this year, but it is what it is. I don't know how you don't play him more. Period.
And this should be a good matchup for him. Right? Like, who are they going to play at the court?
Would be good. I mean,
he's not going to struggle with Kwame Evans. I mean, I bet he might not struggle with Kwame Evans, or else Arizona loses. But
I don't think Kwame Evans is going to be the one that's going to be playing a lot of that power forward spot, being that it's going to be Brandon Angel. But they've
been splitting time lately.
I know.
Angel and Kwame.
Bridge Tech Communications, $9.99. Our guy Tony, Bridge Tech Communications, $9.99 Super Snap. Is there a world where we could see a few minutes for E-Man, Vaser, Lewis, Bradley together? I know E-Man is limited, but he gives us breathing minutes on D. No, they're not going to play him. I'm not saying I don't necessarily agree with it, but they're not going to play him. Is what it is.
I agree.
I would have played him earlier in the season.
Only in the sense, right? If you didn't play him all season, you're sure as heck not playing him now.
Yeah. Now, Ben, Carter L. Bryant, you don't like playing Carter. You've been very clear about this, that you wouldn't play Carter as much. Why is that?
Lies.
Why do you hate Carter Bryant?
What is your issue with Carter Bryant?
What did he ever do to you, Ben?
My issue is that he looks too good right now because we're probably going to lose him. I guess that's my issue, Sheer.
He does look too good, Ben One White. I would agree with that one. So that's something we got to keep. Now we got to talk about March Trey. March Trey is something that is a big thing here. Now, well, here's what we got to do though. We got to get some reads in here though first, because as everybody knows, I am an idiot. And
no, Nifty CeeLo 6'11". I'm not anti-Carter. He's kidding.
No, it's not. Did you say Nifty CeeLo? Is that how you pronounced it? Oh my gosh. That's Nifty Cello. That's how you pronounce cello. Oh my gosh. Not good. Not good. We will pretend that.
My God.
Ben, I weep for this generation. I weep for this generation. But you know who I don't weep for? Michael Rubin. That was incredibly sus, Ben. That was awful. Mr.
Cope.
Cello is one of our favorite people in this chat. Cope, Ben, just cope right now. Shrink. But either way, Michael Rubin is the man. And again, you might be saying to yourself, man, do I know anybody that could buy, sell, or refinance a house? Michael Rubin says, woohoo, over here, I got you. Yoo-hoo, yummy, yummy. Now, here's the other thing, too, is that you can use code Judd Bushler for $500 off closing costs. Local to Tucson, lifelong Wildcat fan, former teacher, and debt consolidation, all of that stuff. You check it out. Michael Rubin is the man. Swift Mortgage, Rubin Group. Check it out. Michael Rubin is the man. We very much like Michael Rubin. Yeah, Jesse Britches. Bren likes prank calls, not reading good, and hating on Carter Bryant. All right, now, Ben, Green Valley Decorative Rock. You know the drill. You're in California, but you know about the rumors that have been pushed.
I do, and they go to 4 places. Tell us where, Mike.
All right, now can you give it to us? Oh, come on, Ben. Ben, I gave you this read, young man.
Lock in, Ben. Lock in.
Yeah, Ben, come on. What are we doing?
This is your read.
Ben's pretending he's frozen. You can't pretend you're frozen, Ben. We can see your eyes moving.
Ben, we see your eyes moving.
You tell us where the locations are, Mike.
Okay, well,
scurrilous rumors.
These are scurrilous rumors. They're awful rumors. And again, there's some things here, especially when you're up in SRS, not good. Now, either way, they go up to now, Ben, since you asked, I can't believe you don't know this, being that it was like right on your read. But since you asked, they go up north to Oracle, west to Marana, east to Sierra Vista Benson, and south to Nogales. Very, very good. Now, a lot of people are saying, hey, do they deliver to Alcatraz? No, they don't deliver to Alcatraz, but guess what? Everybody's got a price. And I am going to speak for Mike Natowski on this and say, if you want to pay him a hefty chunk of change, they'll probably deliver to Alcatraz or, I don't know, Indonesia. What do you think their rate for Indonesia would be?
I thought it was free shipping, no matter where.
Do you think if somebody offered,
if it's across the ocean?
Do you think if somebody offered Mike $20,000 to ship this to Indonesia, a ton of rock, that he would?
Yes,
I think he would.
I would assume it would cost more than 20 grand, wouldn't it? Rock is heavy.
I don't know, but either way, if you want to get that stuff to Indonesia, and you're going to have to check it out. Either way, Mike is the man. And again, Green Valley Decorative Rock in Tucson. Boom, 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 boom. What is that? What is that song? Got to get that boom, boom, boom. Got to get that
boom, boom, boom.
Look at us. You didn't hear my Rain Man impressions yesterday. I got had a bunch of.
I did.
Those are good. Yeah.
I've heard them before, and they're great. And what people don't realize is it's really not that much of an impression.
Ben One White, very good, smart person. Ben One White, fart. Okay, now let's talk about a little bit on the up front. I need KJ Lewis has to play good. KJ Lewis, he did not play well last game. One thing that I will say is that stop shooting threes. I knew that when he made the 3, there was going to be a heat check. 1 of 3, and we're like, man, we gotta get this next one up. But
we knew it right away. As soon as he made it, I turned next to me to Brian Peterson and go, at least 2 more very quickly, too.
Yeah, exactly. Just play to your game. Like I said, I know that we're a broken record here, but you got to play to your game, my man. You can't do what you can't do, and that's okay. There's a lot of things in life I can't do, and I just don't try to do them.
Dude, that where he drives downhill and then hits that little mid-range jumper, that's there all day in college basketball, and he's really good at it. So do it. Like, again, it goes back to, I need to think here. Why is this team leaving me wide open for 3 and already turning their back to the rebound? Like turning their back to the rebound before I even shoot it. And if you have a wide open 3, that means that there's space in front of you. So go to the basket. He needs to be good this game. This is a big game for him because I assume he's going to be guarding Bamba and all that. He needs to be good in this game.
Ben.
Yeah, if he plays the way he did, they're not winning this game. The turnovers, leaving opportunities on the table. Yeah, you need him. I think him and Love are the most important pieces, I think, in this game.
Well, I'm going to go another step further. I'm also going to say that, you know who else they need? They need in this game. They need March.
Martinez.
No, definitely not. They need March Trey. They need March Trey because March Trey is going to be going against Brandon Angel. Brandon Angel is he's soft. He's not and he's soft and he doesn't embrace girth. Whereas with I think with somebody like Trey Townsend, you embrace girth. He's got to win that matchup. Brandon Angel can do some good things, but you've got to win. He's got to win that matchup, Skier.
Trey's got like 30 pounds in him. Angel's really, I mean, he's a stretch four by any means. Like he's 200 pounds.
Right.
He is talented offensively. It worries me in that regard, but he's also like Trey should be fine here. If Trey is aggressive, like he was yesterday, he will be just fine in this matchup because Brandon Angel isn't overly physical.
Yeah. Ben White.
Agreed.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was gonna say, Ben, thanks for elaborating. Yes.
Thank
Now
you,
with Kwame Evans, Kwame Evans is interesting here because Kwame Evans isn't very good. He's a 5-star kid coming out. I think, at one point he was viewed as a top 5 player. That's another guy that I think Arizona thought they were getting when they definitely weren't getting him.
They absolutely thought Arizona was getting. Arizona 100% thought that they were getting Evans.
Yeah. That's an argument for another day. But but again, with him, with Trey Townsend, either way, he's got to win that matchup. And a man of girth as well. Man of girth, Tobe Awaka, another one that he's got to have another good game. I know that I'm saying all these guys got to have good games, but they got to have good games, period.
What is your analysis of Awaka on Biddle? Can that work?
No, I don't. I mean, my bigger problem is
right. Like it only works if Awaka is super physical.
The problem, though, that I've seen is that Biddle is good. I mean, we need to be very clear about that. Biddle's good, and Biddle's also 7 foot. And with the one player that we've seen who's been the one player that we've seen for Arizona that is that struggles with length and with quality length, not like crappy length, but like is Tobe Awaka, man of girth. Biddle's a tough matchup in this game. This is another one. Henry's going to have to play well in this matchup. Henry has to play well.
Henry matches up with Biddle really well.
Yeah, I think Henry's
even matchup. It really is. Well, on paper, this is a very even matchup.
With Henry, what just across the board?
In general, Oregon and Arizona across the board.
Who did you give the coaching advantage to on Wildcat Authority?
Honestly, I'll probably make it even. Tommy's 4-2 against Dana, Mike. This isn't Sean Miller.
Well, I mean, yeah, but
and you can't say Dana's made an Elite 8. Tommy's only coached for 4 years. It took Dana 15 years to make an Elite 8.
Well, I mean, all right. I think. What's that? So you just go by your last 4 years with any coach that goes against.
Like, but you want to get into this argument? You want to start naming bad coaches that made tournament runs, and then you can tell me if they're better than Tommy Lloyd.
So Bill Self though in the last 4 years, Tommy Lloyd equal.
Bill Self won a national title and has made more Final Fours.
Not in the last 4 years.
I don't go by the last 4 years, Mike.
You just went by the last 4 years.
Mike, you want me to read you Dana Altman's career, and you could tell me
at Oregon? Sure, go ahead.
How many Final Fours has Dana Altman made?
1.
Ever.
1. How many Elite
8s has he made?
2.
Okay, so what are we doing here, Mike? Like you're acting like the guy is like John Wooden.
No, I didn't say
that. He's been coaching for 40 years.
Yeah, but not at a Power 5 school. It's been a Power 5 school.
He's been on Oregon. He's been on Oregon for 15 years, Mike.
Okay. So he's got that. What also does he have any Sweet 16s?
At Oregon?
Yeah.
There were 4.
How many times has he lost?
5 Sweet 16s in 15 years. Tommy has 3 already, right? Or 2?
Tommy has 2. And how many times?
Tommy has half of Dana Altman's Sweet 16s in a third of the time.
Okay, but how many times has Tommy lost to a lower ranked team? I'm just kidding.
It's even. I think
it's about even. I have no problem.
And by the way, Javier, I would not take Tommy Lloyd over Jay Wright. I freaking love Jay Wright.
Yeah, Ben White. Ben White. I see a thought bubble emerging from your head. What is that
That
thought
or
bubble?
gas, 'cause it's real. I mean, either that or Ben's gassy.
Yeah,
Oh,
is it
maybe.
both?
Yeah,
Is it
maybe.
Could be
both?
both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
All right.
Ben's a heavy contributor on today's show.
Yeah, I was gonna say Ben.
Well, it's
Striking analysis.
this is what
Striking
happens.
analysis for
Ben did
Ben
all of
White.
his homework before the show. Knows all the players.
Mike, have you
This
looked
is what
outside, by
happens
the
when
way,
you get.
Mike?
Ah!
That's
What?
sun, dude. That
Ah!
is sun. It is sun,
It's sun.
and you can see the sky today.
That's why I'm going to.
Yeah.
I knew I was going to the gym. Okay. So, anyways, now your keys to the game. Somebody here for Arizona that I think has to play well, though. Again, I'm going to keep coming back to this. Caleb Love. Caleb Love has to be. I don't care if he's not making his threes. Caleb Love, it's the Caleb Love that we've seen all season. He has got to be able to get to the bucket. He has got, if his shot isn't falling, he's still got to be one of the 2 or 3 best players on the court. That's why Arizona pays him what he is. That's why he has the reputation he is. Like I said, your best players have to play well in big games.
Yeah, they need him. I mean, it just is what it is. They need him.
They need him. And, again, I think he knows. That's why, for a good percentage of the season, I was kind of disappointed in him to a certain degree because, it just felt like, again, it was, if he didn't make the 3, then he wasn't contributing. It's been a lot different of late. He's just going to have to get to the basket. TLN says Caleb getting hacked 5 times in 30 seconds and then hitting that 3 was awesome for sure. Now, Ben or anyone else you put on the show would have a difficult time with Sheer and Mike. That's fair. Go ahead, Sheer. Go ahead, Ben. Ben, you're acquitting yourself very well. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that's spot on. Yeah, look, Caleb Love, I think, is going to have a game where he's having at least 15 points. I think defensively, he's going to have to contribute as well and be locked in, which granted he has most of the year, and we'll give him credit on that. I think Biddle, the matchup is going to be tough. I think Vaysar is going to be on him the majority of the game, but I know there are going to be stretches where that isn't necessarily going to be the case. And I think that he's going to be able to kind of go off in that respect. So let Biddle get his points and just slow everybody else down is my philosophy for tomorrow.
Sure.
Yeah. In terms of Biddle, I think Oregon is good. They're a good team, but they don't. What's weird about Oregon is you're looking at KenPom and stuff. They don't do anything extremely well. They don't do anything bad. They're not bad at anything, but they're also
kind of a similar team to Arizona,
right? Like Arizona's a much better rebounding team on paper than Oregon. Arizona's a very good rebounding team. Oregon, literally, when you look at KenPom, nothing sticks out, but they're good at everything. Like they don't shoot a lot of threes, but then against Liberty last night, they'll shoot open threes and make them, but they're not a team that's going to come out and shoot 33s. Arizona should hope they shoot 33s because that's not Oregon's game, right?
Yes, they should. Now, we're going to talk about Oregon here in a second. We're also going to make fun of the SEC. I am having a good time. By the way, this tweet that I sent out has, holy moly, it's got like 3,000 likes and like, how many? Oh, this thing's taken off. Hold on. I am so important. Hold on.
Just
let me
remember
see.
the little people, dude.
Yeah, no, I know. I don't know. And I woke up and it's got even more. All right, let's see here. Here's what I said. All right. Oh, it's only got 3.4K and 190 retweets. Wow, I'm good. Yeah, I'm a smart person. But okay. Now let's talk a little bit then about where let's get some reads in here first. We gotta get some reads in. Holy moly, the sun! I'm being hit, being attacked.
It is hot outside.
Yes. Let's see what do we got here.
It's hot.
47 degrees. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Bridge Tech Communications. Now, Bridge Tech Communications. Now, I said to myself, I'm trying to find a gym to go to after this. And I think the thing about going to the gym was I don't know where the gyms are. I'm having to look it up. That's probably because they don't use Bridge Tech Communications up here. They should use Bridge Tech Communications because they would also be getting a 750% average ROI. They promote 100 plus health entities across multiple states, can help your gym or health or wellness spa. They can do that here and they can do that for you here. They can do that anywhere, but all kinds of good stuff going on at Bridge Tech Communications. You will thank me later. Check it out. And again, big shout out to our guy, Tony. Tony is the man.
Mike, you want to know something funny? Because we'll do this at first. Sorry, go ahead.
All right. Oh, now Comfort X HVAC. Free routine maintenance for first-time clients, small businesses with big savings, built on trust for the long haul, perfect track record. We know that our friend Tony Gimino went through them, and he was, oh, look at this. Look at Tony right there. I mean, you talk about a Greek god. I mean, just look at this. I mean, he is sculpted beyond belief. Look at this man. I mean, gosh. And on top of that, he has great things to say about Comfort X HVAC because, again, they saved him up to close to $2,000. We very much like Comfort X HVAC. They are great. They renewed good stuff. Very much like it. Comfort X HVAC. All right, sure.
Two things I want to say here, Mike. Are you ready?
Yeah. What do you got?
Tommy Lloyd's win last night makes him the second most winningest coach in his first 4 seasons, tied with Shaka Smart and trailing only Brad Stevens. His round of 64 was his 111th win in 4 years. Brad Stevens is the only guy with more, with 117. Keep that in mind. Ever. Tommy Lloyd is the second best coach ever in a first 4 years.
Dude, I think Tommy Lloyd's awesome. I think Tommy Lloyd's awesome.
Number 2, Shelby wanted me to point out that while you are famous, her most retweeted, liked tweet came the other day when she was crapping on Adia Barnes. Somehow it has 1,000 likes. So that's where Adia is in the program right now.
Adia Barnes made a very stupid mistake. Are you guys going to?
I mentioned this on the podcast yesterday, and I posted about it. So let's just out it real quick.
And you did fall for it. You fell for it, Sheer.
Well, yeah, it was great. It was great PR by her.
Yeah, there was no Adia Barnes put this out, and again, this is going to upset. I had a number of people tell me this, so I don't mind saying it. Adia Barnes put out the leak that she was a candidate for the Auburn job. Well, that was news to Auburn. And what is annoying, what is always going to annoy somebody like DRF is if you know more people in the industry than Adia Barnes does, and you're finding out that Adia Barnes is trying to essentially sabotage you. That was a stupid mistake because there's a miscalculation of it. Matt, it'll be about 10 minutes. It was a miscalculation of epic proportions. You don't do that. I'll put it to you like this. And I don't know this part. I'm just saying this. I would be stunned if Adia Barnes ever got an extension from DRF. That there's certain things you don't do, and that tweet certainly did not help that case at all as well.
They're going to Bobby Hurley, which is basically they're going to say, please go get another job. She owes $300,000 to Arizona. She leaves before the end of April.
Right.
So she ain't going to pay that either. It would not surprise me if she takes like an assistant job in the WNBA or something like that. I do not see her as the coach of Arizona in 2 years.
Yeah, she was again. That's a massive mistake. If you're going to bluff somebody, you better bluff somebody that can't call your bluff. And that's what she did. I mean, Ben One White, you're in the sales business. If you're going to bluff, then if you're going to mess with the paw, you better bring the glove.
And so are you, my friend. You better have.
What is Javier saying right now?
There.
What is Javier?
Javier is saying that Tommy is basically a product of Arizona.
What?
That he wins, but how many national championships? 0. I can make the argument Bryce Drew would win here too.
Hey, Comic Book Chris, I agree with you, but again, it's relevant to Arizona basketball, so I don't really.
Don't you need one? Don't you need one every 4 years? Sure.
That's our women's basketball talk for the month.
Yes, that's where we're gonna go with it. That's all we're gonna say. Now, I want to make fun of. I was gonna make fun of the SEC here for a minute. One of my biggest pet peeves, and again, there are good teams in the SEC. I'm not saying there aren't. Is how many crappy teams got in that had no business being in the tournament, and all I hear is, who are you gonna put in? Who are you gonna put in? West Virginia? Boom. If a team is 6-12 in the Big 12 or in a conference, they should not be in the NCAA tournament. Period. Point blank. Hard to believe that all these bum teams lost in the first round, guys.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, we'll see what happens with the top. It's a big game coming up for you.
Oh yeah, we're all St. John's fans. We're all St. John's fans.
Big game for you.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, again, Mike, like teams have to make the tournament. Right.
Yeah.
I agree with you on a couple of them, but at the end of the day, teams have to make the NCAA tournament.
Why? But 14 teams from one conference is ridiculous.
I don't think Oklahoma is very good. I said that. There's a couple others.
I didn't even know they played basketball at Vanderbilt. They suck. Georgetown, not Georgetown.
Not good. Missouri's not good this year.
Yeah, I called Missouri being a total hype job.
Just because you lose in the tournament doesn't mean you're not good.
Now, these teams didn't deserve to be in. A lot of those teams we just mentioned, sure.
But then who
Vanderbilt.
are you putting in? You don't. This is what you don't get. Who are you putting in?
I'll put in West Virginia
4 times?
Well, I mean that's one right there. I'll put in. I'm just saying they don't deserve to be in there. So I would go find other schools. Ben White, you agree with me?
I do, but I think you're only going to see that trend continue as these conferences get bigger. So I would say, to Shear's point, who else are you going to put in? But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of mediocrity, as you like to say, in that conference.
All right, the way that the first 2 rounds have gone, it's not going to counter your argument because all the mid majors got their ass kicked, except for
all right. Well, here, but you did say if 3 SEC teams make the Sweet 16, I win.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Yes, exactly. Now people are asking me, Mike, what about the Big Ten? Well, with the Big Ten, I got to give them props on that first round. We'll see which teams advance. I am still of the opinion, though, I am taking more Big 12 teams to go further than any other conference. We will see how that plays out. And for you SEC people out there, I will root for Kentucky against Illinois. I don't like having to do it, but you know what? Sometimes tough decisions have to be made, Ben White.
Sometimes you got to bunker down and do the hard things in life.
Yep, exactly. Now, all right. Now let's get a couple more reads in here. We're going to get a prediction from tomorrow. Then we're going to have our fan segment. But let's get these reads in. Back the reads, baby. All right, what do we got? All right, Eris Dental. Our guy, Lan, the man with the master plan. Now, here's the deal with Lan. Lan was putting this out today. He said, again, you got the 1997 deal going on, and guess what? Like I said, I tried telling Bruce this joke yesterday at lunch. He did not understand the joke when I said they call it the championship package, the 1997. My thing with I was called in high school, I was called the championship package, and there was like 7 of us. I wasn't really called that, but there was 7 of us around the table. Everybody got it and either laughed or pretended to laugh. Everybody got it. Bruce had no clue what it meant whatsoever, literally none. And not only did he have no idea what it meant, even when it was explained, I still don't think that anybody knew what it meant.
I want them to yell out, Bruce, I'm talking about my.
But I also asked Bruce, I said, Bruce, can we get you implants? And he didn't want implants, but he's going to need dental implants at some point. And Land the man with the master plan. 1997, my friend. 1997.
Well, you missed the big news too with Lynn Allen, Mike. And you should appreciate this. We literally read every single ad to Bruce yesterday off the podcast. I was like, Bruce, you look like you need tooth implants. And then you, boom, take it, Mike.
Yeah, and then exactly. And then I basically read everything to Bruce, and he was overwhelmed by everything.
You're like, Bruce, are you hungry? Too bad there's not a Baggins around. Take it.
Yes, exactly. So either way, but it's owned by again, you can get that TucsonTeeth.com, Land the man with the master plan. My parents are switching over. I'm switching over. Do it. Also, the sun. What the heck's going on here?
Blinding. Look at this. This is
look at that.
Not a cloud in the sky.
Yes. All right. Now, RJ's frozen cactus. Holy moly. Now we need to talk about the parking lot first. The parking lot where you can land. This thing is so big you can land one of those 747s in there, but that's not the best aspect of it. You don't want to go there just for the parking lot, because guess what? There's not a bad seat in the house. You got 100+ craft beers and $2 deals, my friends. Pizza, wings, tacos, and I am not going to be going to Newark, most likely. So there will be a watch party there if Arizona does play Duke. It's very, very good. And again, at RJ's too, not a bad seat in the house. Pre-game at RJ's, then ride share to the game, and you can keep your car in that massive parking lot. All right, one more. We got one more here. What do we got?
Something in your face during the show is so good.
Yeah, I don't know. This isn't
honestly. You should close it because it's defeating your whole argument.
Not helping this isn't helping my narrative. Here we go. Here we go.
I mean, Baggins. Mike, I know what you're going to ask me. I get the Sundowner. It's like a turkey. It's like a Thanksgiving dinner. Mike doesn't know how to use the shades. Mike, you pulled them up there.
The sun's
my God, it's so cloudy outside.
Yeah, yes, the sun. Gosh, Ben, after all that talk. Ben, have you ever been to Baggins?
I have, yes.
Now, if you come back to Tucson, will you use code AZ12?
Of course.
All
And
right.
it'll say the Mike Luke discount on my receipt, right?
Oh, dude, that really feeds my ego. Pardon the pun.
I
Get
ask
it?
for no receipt when I go.
Yeah,
They said, you
no,
want
no.
to receipt with Mike's name? Absolutely not.
Yes, well, duh. All right, but you got to join the VR. You got to join the VIP text club. No, nobody clipped this because that doesn't fit into my narrative about Seattle. The sun is coming out.
Oh, it's so cold and not sunny.
Yeah, exactly. All right. But either way, go there again. Use code AZ12 and make sure to tag me in it. Our good friend Ali is going there, and I told him, I said, you need to do a better job of tagging me in it. Very good stuff, Baggins. Okay. Now, before we have our fan segment coming up here, Jason, Ben One White, both of you guys, give me your predictions for tomorrow, and then I'll let you both sign off, and we'll bring in my buddy Matt Rain. What do you got there?
I'm going to Arizona 76, Oregon 72. I think it'll be a close game throughout. I like Arizona's girth a little bit more than Oregon's, but it's going to be one of those games. I'm just letting everyone know. It's definitely going to be one of those. Are
you going Girth City, Ben One White?
I am. I like Arizona 72, Oregon 68. I just think that Bradley is going to play better and have that matchup advantage. He's been playing fantastic. I think Oregon down low is going to get their points, but they're going to struggle everywhere else. And Arizona's going to play some very, very good basketball, Mike Luke. And as a result, we might be going to Newark. I'm just kidding. But I like Arizona tomorrow by 4 or 5.
As a relation, because it's directly related to Arizona's game, do you give Baylor any chance whatsoever?
No, but I want to.
Yeah, I don't give them any chance.
Yeah, I don't give really.
Flag's leg is broken, like you've been.
Well, that's the thing, though, is that I think that he was pretending to be healthy in that first game. I know that he appeared healthy, but I don't think that he was healthy.
That
I think
swelling is really going to pick up once you rest. You know?
See, that's the thing. I think after he played that game, Ben, I think that you're looking at it and you're saying, I think that thing's about to blow up. I look for his. And again, he's also not in smelly, rainy Seattle, so he doesn't necessarily need to worry about the cold climate. I look for his leg to get very injured in the next round, and then we'll see. I can't wait for some ASU putts to say, Mike Luke, hoping for an injury. No, that's not what I did. That's not.
And
what
if
I
all
did.
else fails, all we have to do is have Sheer step on his ankle in the locker room.
Did I ever tell you this story real quick? Let me tell you a real story before we sign off. Years ago, they were in a really small locker room for the NCAA tournament, and I don't know what happened. There was a player, and I tripped on Jordan Mays' foot. And I was like, "Oh my God, did I just hurt Jordan Mays before the NCAA tournament?"
Before he went off against who is it?
Yeah, and Reynolds yells out as a joke. Reynolds goes, "Did you just break Jordan Mays' foot?" Like it starts yelling at me, like completely fake, and all the press started looking at me because it was after his game.
Did Bruce have an article ready about it?
He should have. He only writes about you.
Attacked by media, accosted by media member in the locker room. Yes,
aggressively.
Oh, aggressively. Oh, we got another $5 super snap. Check this out. Oh, very much like we like Baggins. Very yummy in my tummy.
If Tyler Loop eats at Baggins, that's all the promotion you need.
Do you want to tell the people why we should really like Tyler Loop and about how Tyler Loop's a frontline
soldier? I've said this before, haven't I?
Tyler Loop's a frontline soldier against SRS.
Yeah, there was an SRS mole in the locker room. I'll just leave it at that instead of naming guys. And Tyler Loop turned him in and said, "Get this guy out." And literally 10 minutes later, security came and escorted him out and took his key card. That's a true story. And
he also got a call from somebody.
That's right. Eat it. Yep. Eat it. Smelly
Jed fish. All right. Love Bag has had it the other day when I was visiting.
I might go to Pike Place right now. I might go to Pike Place.
Yeah. All right. On that note, though, I'll let you guys go. Ben One White, you stick around. We will. I will.
You guys though.
What's that? Mike, are you really going to the gym, Mike?
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I want to go work out. Out.
Well, I might go to Pike Place because it's sunny.
Yeah, I want to go somewhere.
Goodbye. All right, you guys go later, Mike. Pike Place, losers. All right, see you guys. TTFN. Lear. All right, now we're bringing in my guy Matt Rain. All right.
What's up, Mike? How's it going?
Oh my gosh, you know how to tickle a man's heart. Look at that shirt. AZ12. That looks good.
Where can people get it? Where can people get the merch?
Yeah, Cody, put it in there. Okay, where can they find the merch? That's a great idea. This guy knows more. This guy knows more than I do about the show. There it is. Cody, put the link in there while we're talking. All right, Matt Rain. Now, Matt, you have over 1 million followers on TikTok, don't you?
Not a million. 160,000, but notwithstanding anything else. But
60,000. Yeah, limited viewership.
No, Mike. No, but yeah, but you have the important podcast here and the loyal Arizona fans and the AZ12 subscribers. So shout out to you.
Well, yeah, we're making it. All right, now Matt. I almost said Matt Rain. Matt Rain. Now, what are you looking for in this? Sheer thinks that there's a girth advantage for Arizona against Oregon. What are you looking for?
Yeah, Shear's exactly right. I think he had good analysis. I think Henry does match up pretty well with Biddle. Biddle gets off in games when he has smaller guys guarding him. Just watching some tape of the last couple of days. Henry, I think, can present some challenges. If you get up into Biddle and don't allow him to go to his right and get his little baby jump hook going, you're a lot better. And then also Henry having the lateral quickness to move with Biddle on the 3-point line. But look, I think same thing goes with guys like Shellstad and guys, TJ Bamba is great, but the reality is that Shellstad, great player. He's 6 foot. So if you put a guy like KJ on him or JB, they're going to have a height advantage. They're going to have a length advantage. They're going to have a girth advantage. And I think, Mike, too, who on Oregon is boxing out Tobe?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Is I look at it too. Brandon Angel, he can shoot the 3, but he's kind of soft. And that's one as well. We were talking about it. I've got to have Trey Townsend and I've got to have Tobe Awaka they have to be good in this game because again, Biddle's very, very good, no doubt. But Brandon Angel can shoot the 3. I know we don't like defending the 3, so that should be interesting. But Kwame Evans was a 5-star kid, but it's not a 5-star player. It is what it is. That's a Missy Val. Arizona's got to win up front. Period. I think Arizona's got to win up front.
You have to. My one concern about Trey, Mike, is in games where he's struggled, he's lost his defensive assignment. There have been times where Tommy has pulled. I can't remember. I think it was in the Big 12 tournament potentially, where he lost his defensive assignment multiple times and allowed for easy 3s. You just cannot leave a guy like Brandon Angel open or getting confused on defense. And if that happens, Trey just can't play. But he's got to be aggressive. No open 3s.
Yeah, no open 3s. Now let's talk a little bit. You talked about Shellstad. Shellstad's a good player, but Shellstad going into the season, I thought that Shellstad was going to have a bigger year than he's had. Again, he's been good and he's playing his best ball of late, but it's still more of an 11 points, 4 assists type thing. He's good, but you can't let him go for 23, 24. This is a matchup. I agree that, like you said, JB's got to win this matchup, period.
Yeah, he does. With Shell, it's funny. Altman consistently finds guards that are very similar to Shellstad. He loves kind of the Pritchard types. Even going back,
Casey Benson.
The guards that can really run the offense, which is why I think, look, if I'm Tommy, I'm telling JB, I'm telling KJ, get in this guy's face and make him work for it. If he's allowed to run the Oregon offense, if they're allowed to get into some pick and roll action easily with Biddle and Biddle pick and pop, that just simply can't happen. I'd even maybe like to see, Houston does it so well. I don't know if Tommy will do this. We did it a little bit, I think, against Kansas, but kind of rushing when there's a pick and roll, sending Henry to rush Shellstad, making him uncomfortable as possible. Maybe that's something that Tommy tries.
Exactly. Not let them get where they want on the pick and roll. I think that was such a nice adjustment against Houston. And you could see it kind of threw him off a little bit because when you're going against a team and I know that I can get the edge on the pick and roll, I can get where I want. It makes it a lot easier than if I know that I'm going to be blitzed. Now, again, you don't have to do it every time, but don't let them get by you every time. And just like it's like with Milos Uzan, just shooting 6 foot floaters. You can't do that. Make their life uncomfortable.
No, if we play drop coverage and Henry kind of drops back and allows Shellstad to get in the lane and hit those runners, it's going to be a long day. You have to play that a little bit better. Look, I've confidence in Tommy to get that done. I thought probably the best part of the Akron game was the defensive game plan. We gave up some back cuts, but we didn't allow them open 3s. I mean, I thought, look, Akron was trying to shoot 33s. We didn't let him do it. We didn't let him do it comfortably. I think Tommy will have a good enough defensive plan against Oregon to be able to win this game.
Matthew Abrams, very much appreciate the merch purchase. Very much appreciate that. Awesome. Okay, now Caleb Love. I get beat up a lot for people that are like, they're like, you're always too nice to Caleb. My Caleb, this and that. He is my Caleb. Be nice to me. But at the end of the day, though, Caleb Love. He's if you're Arizona's best player, you got to play well in the NCAA tournament here. I mean, Arizona, they didn't really need him last game, and I thought he was fine. I thought he played right into it. But I feel a lot more confident in Caleb than I did a month ago, Matt, and that he is attacking the basket. He's got to attack the basket. And the other thing too, when he's a great free throw shooter, he's a super clutch free throw shooter. I need the best version of Caleb in this game. And if he's not making threes, I can still get the best version of Caleb.
Yeah, I think the key for him this game is to be able to attack the basket and drive and dish. And look, I think Altman, whatever defense he ends up playing, whether it's 2-3 zone, matchup zone, man-to-man.
He's going to play a million different defenses.
He's going to play a million different defenses, but the continuity between those differences is that it's going to be more of a shell defense, right? Allowing Arizona to shoot threes. KJ Lewis, as you mentioned earlier, is going to be open to shoot threes. Should he be shooting threes? No. Drive to the basket, kick out to open shooters. And look, it's not an ADO game, but you get him in the correct spots. You drive, you dish to guys like ADO, guys like Carter, guys like Caleb. I think you're going to be able to do well. But to finish on Caleb, I think last night and even moving forward, he has done a great job of playing his role on this team and not being the hero. And for one particular national sports guy to pick Akron because he, quote, doesn't trust Caleb Love. I don't think that person has watched maybe 5 minutes of Arizona basketball this year. And they're very fraudulent because that's not been this team this year. That's not been Caleb this year. So
and it just feels so. It just feels, Big 12 Bobby. You always get a lot of. He's right. Big 12 Bobby is right. This is the best guest you've had on since Brian Jeffries. Look at Matt Rain. Like I said, when Matt's the governor of the state before he's the president. Yeah, I remember he got to start on the AZ12 podcast. But the other thing too that I look at is ADO. I wanted to ask you about this with ADO. How do I put this? I can't have charity minutes. I'm fine starting him, whatever, but I can't, like against Houston. And I know that he was only in for like 7 minutes, but those are a disastrous 7 minutes because Arizona gets off to a super slow start in the first half. They claw back. They're up at the to start the second half. Then guess what? They go right back at him. This has to be something where you're essentially, after a minute, I can't have him in for 4.5 minutes. I can't have him in. This is win or go home at this point. I think you just can't play him just to play him, I guess is my point.
Yeah, he's got to have the right matchups on defense. I don't think he's going to do well against a guy like Bamba, who's more physical than he is. So he's got to have the right matchups, number one. And number two, again, I think it's the coaching staff putting him in the right positions on the floor. He can be a spot shooter. He's a great 3-point shooter, right? And I think he's shown that throughout the year. If we're in transition, ADO can catch and shoot, and he's very effective, shooting more than 40% from the 3-point line, I believe, this season. But on the defensive end, most of the time he's a liability. On offense, he can't really penetrate. Certainly not against teams like Oregon. And then similarly, Trey, I think he ought to be aggressive. I'm a little worried about how he'll perform, but we'll see. We just have to trust in March Trey, right?
Yeah, we're going to try. March Trey's a thing. We're just going to have to trust in it. Also, I want to talk a little bit about KJ Lewis as well. KJ, like I said, KJ's got to play his game. I don't need 4 or 5 threes. They're going to leave you open for a reason. Don't take it. Don't fall for it. Again, if you make one, you don't need to shoot 2 more. You got to play downhill. That's the key for me with him is playing downhill, getting into the bucket. I would rather have him take a contested 2-point shot where I would rather have him take that where you're like, okay, than shooting a wide open 3. I've seen him make those. He's open for a reason. That's just kind of the way it is.
There's one amazing John Wooden quote that applies to KJ Lewis, and I wish he would take it to heart. John Wooden said, be quick, but don't hurry.
But don't hurry. Exactly.
And for KJ, what makes him so good is his hustle and his drive and his commitment. But also on the flip side, that produces results like turning the ball over sometimes or making reckless decisions. So I think at this point in the season, you got to take the good with the bad. I hope he can have trust in his teammates to be able to be there for him, to calm him down and be able to put out his best effort on the court. And look, I think his biggest thing for this game is going to be on defense. If he's able, look, whether he matches up with Shellstat or not, or another, someone like Bamba, to be able to get in their face defensively, not make it easy to run Oregon's offense, that will make such a big difference in this game. And maybe it will go unnoticed in the stat line. But the true ball knowers will
Yeah,
will know.
the true ball knowers. Yes, they
The
know that
true
it's
ball
not
knowers.
sus. Yes, exactly.
That's
All
right.
right.
That's
Yes.
right.
All right, Matt, give me a prediction before we sign off here. What do you got? I assume you're back in the A.
I'm back in the A. I think it'll be Arizona 81, Oregon 74, 75. We'll say
I'll
Oregon
take that.
74. I think this will be a very close game up until, maybe. And then I think we'll start to pull away a little bit in the last 5 minutes of the game. I think we just have a little bit too much girth. Oregon will be in this game. But look, we got to defend the 3-point line. We have to be able to rebound. I think by the end of the day, I think we'll win. But look, Dana Altman is a heck of a coach, and he'll make this game close.
I'm going 81-74 as well, Matt Rain. Again, listen.
Was that predetermined?
No, I'm just following your lead. Here's the thing that you
Okay.
need to do, people, in life. If you find somebody or meet somebody that's smarter than you, steal all their points, copy everything they do. That's exactly what I'm doing with Matt Rain right there. We are both going 81-74. Yes. Now, Matt, where can they find you on Twitter, by the way?
At Rain on Wildcats. My last name, Rain, REIN on Wildcats.
And Matt is going to be a regular in the off season. He has just been informed of this right now. Matt, you're awesome at this. You're a natural, and you are a beast, bro. I appreciate you guys. Everybody in the chat, you're the best. We will be back with you on the post game. Everybody in there, thanks for the super snaps. You've been listening to the AZ12 podcast.